This video has been requested many times by viewers, and by many I mean like 3 times. But for my channel, that's quite a few times. So I figured I'd treat you guys to this video. I've actually put some work into it, so hopefully you enjoy it. Today we're going to be talking about how much it costs to build this car right here. I'm going to break this video up into 3 sections. I'm going to try to keep it around 10 minutes. We'll see if that happens. I'm not sure. So first, I'll tell you how much I paid for this car originally. It was a 1998 Mustang V6 3.8 5-speed manual with a T5 transmission. Exactly what I wanted because I knew I wanted an engine swap of 5.0 into it. The odometer read 114,000 miles. The dude was asking like 1,800 and we settled on 1,500. I drove it home and I drove it for the remainder of the summer. I put about 10,000 miles on it until it started having issues with loss of power and just, needed some work. So I'm like, alright, it's time for the 5.0 swap. So the car has about 124,000 miles on it as it sits today. The second section will consist of the appearance build and the suspension rebuild. For the suspension upgrade, every single component on the suspension is brand new. It has all been replaced. Everything is redone to OEM spec or higher. For a quick build list, we have SR Performance lowering springs with new isolators front and rear. We have Moog control arms, inner and outer tie rods in the front. We have SR Performance rear control arm kit. We have Steeda front sway bar. We have the LMR polyurethane sway bar links. We have new front brakes and rotors. And we also have the rear axle assembly with the Auburn limited slip differential and 410 Ford racing gears. That comes to a grand total of $1,402 spent on the suspension. It rides very nicely, it steers very nicely, and there's no complaints there. If you're doing more power, you definitely need to upgrade that. Then we'll go right into the appearance real quick. The first appearance upgrade we'll talk about are the big ones, which are the 2004 Mach 1 seats that I bought from a local guy for $400. They're in absolutely mint condition and I love them very much. Next are the 0304 GT Premium wheels that I got with Toyo tires on them with great tread off Craigslist in Detroit for $400 as well. Then we just have a couple of other things. I've got the sequential tail lights, the plug and play kit. I've got, I added fog lights. We've got new Cobra style headlights. We've got a new billet style grille. We've got the MMD hood strut kit and a couple of other extras. I had the new Duracell AGM battery, which is about $150, and I have also a new front windshield. All of that comes to a total of about $1,360. I guess the one thing that doesn't include is the rattle can spray job, which if you guys seen that video, that was about $100 or something. So next we're going to move into the 5.0 swap, the essentials section. This is the bare bones minimum on what you need basically to get this motor in this car and running and driving down the street. So the first thing we have is the engine kit with the computer that I bought also off Craigslist for $850. That included the 5.0, it's out of a Rex 95 GT. It came with the computer and the computer harness. The engine wiring harness, it came with the BBK cold air intake, it came with the CCRM, which is attached to the coolant overflow, it came with the ignition module, and it came with the GT radiator and the cooling fan, which has 2-speed opposed to 1, so that's very important. Then next, you'll also need the 94-95 GTK member if your car is a 4.6 GT model year, which mine obviously is. Then you also need the 5.0 bell housing, which bolts up fine to the T5 transmission that's in this car. And then that brings us down to, I have a Maximum Motorsports Performance clutch cable because the clutch cables are different. I also have the Maximum Motorsports aluminum clutch quadrant up to replace the Ford plastic one. And then I have the SR Performance firewall cable adjuster so you can get the clutch just where you want it. And then you need oil and a bunch of other fluids, which ends up being around $100. Then the last thing I have is the 94-95 Mustang GT throttle cable, which I ended up buying off eBay in a pinch for a little bit more than I wanted to pay, and it still doesn't work perfect, unfortunately, but it gets the job done. So that comes to a grand total of $1,390. Those are the essentials that you need to basically get the car running. Then we go into a list of extras, because what is a car project without any extra expensive stuff? One major thing I did to the motor in preparation for heads and a cam, possibly, was the GT40 upper and lower intake manifold. I got those nicely redone for $300. I have a Pro 5.0 shifter that I got used for $50. Then along with the shifter setup, I also got a new gasket for that's reusable. I have a new shifter bushing, which is a must. Then we also have like all new gaskets in the motor. We've got we went all with Velcro. We did valve cover gaskets, intake manifold gaskets, rear main seal. We did a Ford Performance oil pan gasket. That's just stuff that you don't need to do, but again, since you have it out of the car and everything is so easy to do, we might as well do it. Then we also have the SR Performance throttle body. We have the Edelbrock throttle body adapter that you need to go along with the GT40 upper intake manifold. That will run you like around $100. I think like 120. I've got new Taylor 8mm spark plug wires. We have a new Taylor distributor. We have a new Motorcraft ignition coil. We have a new idler pulley. We have a new serpentine belt. We have pace setter long tube headers, which were $237. I now wish I would have went with the BPK chrome ones for twice as much. That's a story for another time. And then along with the long tube headers, you need to run a thinner steering shaft assembly, so I went with the Maximum Motorsports one at $290. Then I have the Bama 4-bank eliminator chip at $270. And then also, I should have put this with the long tube headers, the stock dipstick does not work with those, so I have the low-car flexible dipstick, which was $64. And basically, after all that, that's what you see here, which comes to a total, so the build extras are $1,767, and that puts the build total at $5,919. And then including the cost of the car, total investment is $7,419 in the 1998 V6 Mustang. So, what do I think about that? I was expecting somewhere around that price. I was keeping track, and honestly, the knowledge and the experience and the fun that I had while making this project happen, that knowledge and experience is just priceless, and I have a really awesome car, and it always puts a smile on my face just looking at it, so I can't complain. I really enjoyed making the video series, and as always, it's a project car, so it's never done. Videos will be back here. We have some nice days coming up here in Michigan, and I also have a new car sitting behind you guys in the driveway, which will need an introduction soon, because we're going to want to shoot some videos on that. We'll get to that possibly next video, But until then, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.